I don't think. I think we'll get a fairly early idea of who's going to be out there challenging for the top 3 in this race. Connor Fitzpatrick, though, having said that, the Canadian, he's the one I'm going to be watching at least, because he did absolutely motor home yesterday in a couple of his races. So it'll be interesting to see if he's got the same tactics today, and whether he can keep enough petrol in the tank for the last 250 metres or so, maybe to do a Ballas, Adolf, and rein in some of the tiring front leaders as we get closer to the finish line. So we are scheduled for in fact, we're 1 minute behind the scheduled start time, so there might be a little bit of a problem out there, I think. 3 minutes past the hour we were due to start, and according to my Mickey Mouse watch, it's now coming up to 5 minutes past the hour, so we're a couple of minutes delayed. Maybe there's a problem. Look at this beautiful setting here. I mean, don't you love it? The mountains in the background. There are wonderful places, and it's one of the great things about this sport, some of the great venues we have. It looks like we're now getting into position, ready for the start.
And we're off and racing now, and like you said, Connor Fitzpatrick is one to watch. He had a few heart issues last year, Ross, so it's good to see him back at the top, and I'm sure he'll be looking at eyeing an A final off in this event. So just like you said, it's a beautiful course here. It's I'm sure the athletes aren't looking at the mountains, but we certainly can. It looks like maybe lane 6, Pablo Crespo, having the better of the starts there from Spain, as well as Lasnau from Poland. He's got that really long loping stroke. You can see his boat just moving around maybe a little bit more than the rest. Over on the far side is the green boat of Connor Fitzpatrick. He's in lane 2. He's the one that we've both said to watch. And in the middle of them is Grady from the US. But it is, at the moment, lane 5, maybe Denisov. Lane 7, a couple on the outside of him is Wu, I think. And then maybe as well Glasnow from Poland.
Looks like it, so it's Crespo from Spain, I think, out there in front at the moment. Looks like, as you would expect, the Spaniards, when it comes to canoe racing, it doesn't seem to matter who they throw in a boat. They seem to be incredibly talented, and it's Pablo Crespo at the moment. You can see him closest to the camera with the red trunks on. That is the Polish, lane 4, the Chinese paddler Wu, who's sitting, coming through. Sorry, that's Glasnow, in the red trunks from Poland. He's up there challenging. You can see the race at the moment between the Spaniard and the Pole. They've got the race to themselves out in front, and now Denisov coming through as well from Uzbekistan. So at this stage, it's a race between Glasnow from Poland and Crespo from Spain. Denisov moving into 3rd. Connor Fitzpatrick's nice and close if he's good enough. If he's left some power for the back half of this race, he's close enough, if good enough, to maybe get himself up there into the 3rd position. But it now looks like it's the Pole, Victor Glasnow, moving into a clear lead.
Yeah, and we thought we'd see this from the start. We knew that these two would be somewhere near the front, and certainly no surprise. So looks like the race isn't over. We've still got 400 metres to go, but I think a lot has to go wrong for these two to not qualify in that top 3. So that is Glasnow and Crespo, Poland and Spain in 1 and 2. But it's that 3rd place that I'm excited about at the moment. Connor Fitzpatrick is kind of around. It's Denisov as well, and Wu. So that's Canada, Poland and China. As we just take a look here, it's Glasnow from Poland. He's looking very, very comfortable. 2 very different techniques from these 2 paddlers. You know, you can see the boat bouncing around a bit more from our Spanish paddler there as we move through the final 250 metres.
So Glasnow holds on to the lead. Looks like there's a couple of tiring paddlers behind them. They are really falling off the pace. It's Wu from China who's taking advantage of that. I think he's moved himself up into a clear 3rd. But now Connor Fitzpatrick, you can just see the nose of his boat coming into picture. Has he got anything left though? Wu looks like he's timing his race to perfection. It is still out in front. It is still the Pole, Victor Glasnow. He is leading the race. Right next to him, across on the other side of the course, is Pablo Crespo from Spain. The race for 3rd is going to be interesting. It is still Glasnow and the Crespo. They are 1 and 2. The battle for third will be interesting. You can see Connor Fitzpatrick now making a bit of a lunge. Is he going to get there, though? It is Glasnow from Crespo. The race for third is going to be interesting. I think it is going to be the Chinese paddler Wu, though, who's going to get there. Yes, he does. So Wu gets in third, and Connor Fitzpatrick just misses out, but that's a very impressive race from the pole. He's so experienced, Victor Glasnow, always puts in a top-level performance. I've not seen him put too many dodgy races in over his career, and went out there and had a bit of a tussle there with the Spaniard Crespo through the middle stages of the race. But then when it came down to going for glory, he managed to dig pretty deep and finished pretty strong at the line, and I think he'll be pretty happy with that paddle going into the gold medal race. So we're waiting for confirmation, but it's Victor Glasnow, I'm pretty certain, clear winner there from Poland. Pablo Crespo held on to second, and probably of all of the paddlers, the Chinese paddler Wu looked the strongest going to the line, so maybe he's got something else up his sleeve for the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And the race from Glasnow, as we see on the screen now, yeah, it was very calm, cool and collected. That type of racing comparatively to what we saw in the first semi-final from Adolf from Hungary. Two very different tactics. You know, one is sitting back, buying his time and then trying to put a burst of speed on at the end, and the other is being very consistent. So 3:58, 3:1, Poland, Spain,